Hello folks, Scott with Dallas Paint Correction and Auto Detailing here in Dallas, Texas. I'm sorry if it's a little bit windy, I'll try to speak up here. This is a new client of mine who just called me, happened to find me on YouTube, called me up and had me look at this vehicle. He's interested in me detailing it. It happens to be a 2016 Ford Mustang GT350 Shelby. I'll bring you around this vehicle here. If you look at this car is well maintained. It is relatively clean. I know the last couple of videos I've been showing you cars that I'm detailing, and guess what? Most of them are clean. Most of them are in good shape. They almost don't look like they need to be detailed. But I want you guys to kind of enter my world a little bit, and I want to try to help you on how to run your business successfully, so that customers who value their things have expensive toys. This gentleman that owns this car is highly intelligent, very successful. In fact, he's been maintaining it to some level on his own. He understands some of the products that we're using professionally. He actually uses Optimum No Rinse and does rinseless washes in his condo complex, and this thing is kept in a parking garage. So he found me on YouTube. He realized I was just a couple of miles from his house, and he said, Scott, I want you to detail my car and I want somebody to maintain it. So he's asking me to get into my maintenance program. Whether or not we maintain this once a month or maybe we go every 60 days, that remains to be seen. Again, it's a one gentleman owner. He maintains it very well. I'm going to dial this car in. To some of you, you might be saying, what do you mean you're going to dial it in? The car looks amazing. Let me open up the door to this car and I'll show you. This is about 80% of my clients. They will call me and say, Scott, I need my car detailed. Look at the inside of that car. It is completely immaculate. Does it need to be clean? Absolutely. Do all the materials inside this car need to be protected with the appropriate type of dressings or protection? Absolutely. This car, what I plan on doing with this, I got to dial these tires in. These tires are I'm in the shadow here. These tires are in pretty bad shape. Not the tires are in bad shape, they just need to be clean. I got to get all the browning off the tire. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's a tremendous amount of browning on those tires. That's got to come off. Most likely what's happened here is some type of non-water-based dressing, silicone-based, petroleum-based has been left on this tire, and as those anti-ozonates come to the surface, it's just gotten stuck inside there, so it kind of looks a little crappy. I need to dial that in. There's a lot of brake dust around these wheels. Those have to be taken care of, the rims. But the actual paint, the paint on this car is in great shape. It's white. It's got some small imperfections in it, but it's not horrible. But what I'm gonna do to this car, I'm gonna kind of do a rinseless wash to it. I'm going to use, guess what? As Scott, the professional detailer, he's going to use Armor All Wash and Shine in an aerosol. There's not a lot of dust and dirt on the car. Again, it's well maintained. I just need to get that dust and those contaminants off the paint because I'm going to be doing a one-step on this car. I don't know what compound or what polish I'm going to use, but I'm going to one-step it, and I'm going to clean the inside. I'm probably going to just do a basic vacuum on this. I'm going to use some steam to steam clean around the door jambs, inside the door jambs. I'll quickly steam all the surfaces so I get some nice cleaning, some bacteria removed. Probably not a big issue to you guys, but I literally want to touch every surface in this car, because then what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect it. All the carpets, any fabric material inside the vehicle is going to get some type of fabric guard on it, so that in the future, as I maintain this car, it's easier. Let me talk about maintenance programs and how to encourage people to use them. How my system works is when somebody calls me and says, Scott, I have a car, I want to join your maintenance program. Well, they can't just jump in because that's what they want. They certainly can get into it, but the way I work is I have got to do a complete detail. I don't care how clean the car is, how dirty the car is. I need to do a deep cleaning, get all the surfaces protected, fabric guard the carpet, fabric guard the headliner. I want to completely dial this car in, including the wheels, the rims, the paint, And then after that, guess what happens? That customer can now join my maintenance program. And for this car here, after I dial this in, and if he wants to use me every 30 days, and he stays within that 30-day program, he's looking about $100, maybe $110 a month is all he has to invest, and I will maintain the vehicle throughout the length of the time he owns it. Well, why do people do this? Well, people who have a tremendous value in the things they own, they want to maintain them, they want to preserve them, they want to keep their resale value high. It is incredibly cheaper, easier for me, easier for my client to maintain this thing once it's completely dialed in. Does this car need to be dialed in my opinion? Yes, it needs work. Is it work that's going to completely exhaust me, break me in two? No, it's not. But this is truly detailing a vehicle. How do you get this thing to another level? Right now I say it's a level 7. I want to get it to a level 8 or a level 9. Level 10 is probably inappropriate, especially for OEM paint. There's always going to be some type of, you know, orange peel on the car. Can't remove it. We're not going to wet sand it. Most people don't want that type of service anyway. But basically that's what I'm working with here. I'm going to do kind of a rinseless wash on it. I am going to have a bucket with water. I probably won't even use a garden hose. I've got the appropriate cleaners like Meguiar's wheel brightener to break down that brake dust. I will scrub the tires with Super Clean. I will have microfibers I don't give a crap about, but they're still soft. And I can reach my hand inside there and completely clean that barrel by hand and remove all that brake dust. And then I'll rinse it by dunking a microfiber towel in distilled water and rinse off all the cleaner, and then I'll probably take a leaf blower and blow off that wheel so I don't have any water spots after that. I'm going to wash the paint. I'm going to decontaminate the paint. I'm going to clay it. I'm going to clay it inside of a garage, so I'm going to be out of direct sunlight. The panel's not going to be hot. I'm most likely going to be using some type of synthetic clay bar. I can get around this car pretty quick. It's a 2016. There are some contaminations on the paint, but it's not that bad. If I actually touch the paint right now, I can feel some bonded contaminants. It's not thick, it's not heavy. It's kept in a parking garage. It's not really outside all the time, but it is his daily driver, so he does use it. So that's that. The other thing I need to do, those chrome exhaust tips they've got a lot of carbon built up on it. They've got issues. Those have to be polished. Those have to be brought back to life. I also have the customer, I guess somebody waxed this car in the past and he's got some white residue on this plastic from wax or something. I got to get that off, and then I'm going to treat all the plastic, probably with Geon trim. I'll treat all the plastics around this car to preserve it, but I'm going to do a one-step correction. The protection I'm going to use after that is probably my protection of choice in this moment. It's going to be Meguiar Power Lock. I'm going to use that paint sealant, and then I'm going to put something on top of it. I'm not a big fan of topping products. I really don't see a big benefit in that. Not judging anybody. If you guys like topping products, that's fine. But typically, if I'm going to top anything over that paint sealant, the Meguiar Power Lock, I'm going to use something like Meguiar's Ultimate Fast Finish, something that Meguiar's recommends on top of a wax or a sealant. You got to remember, Meguiar's Ultimate Fast Finish has no fillers in it, no abrasives. It's a spray. It's very clear, and I'm just going to simply wipe the car down with that and try to get some really nice white glowing pop. Now with my maintenance program, if we look inside this engine bay, this gentleman is paying for a full detail, inside and out, with a one-step correction and protection. He is not, at the moment, interested, and my full detail package does not include the engine bay. It just doesn't. That's an extra fee. But this is my moment where I'm going to over-deliver. I popped the hood on this thing. It's got light dust and dirt. I'm going to clean this engine bay for this gentleman. You want to know why? Because once he enters my maintenance program, I need to maintain everything on the car, including the engine bay. So I'm going to maintain that engine bay for him. So I'm going to over-deliver to him at this moment and clean that engine bay for him and go from there. But that's what I'm working on. I'll let you guys know how it goes throughout the process. If I come across something that may be interesting, that may be helpful to some of you guys, I'll bring the camera in. It's pretty straightforward at the moment what I need to do with it. But these are the customers. 80% of my customers, folks, It is very hard for me at this point in my career to take new clients that only want a detailer once because their car has gotten really out of hand and they probably won't use me again. I honor those folks. I love those folks. It's very difficult for me to take those new customers unless they want to use me on a regular basis. It's just the way my world works, my reality works. And I find customers who value their things, want to keep them maintained, and that's how it works. They will get an incredible deal that's incredibly cheap to maintain the vehicle after I completely dial the car in. I kind of hope that makes sense to you. It is far easier for me to take care of a car. Once I get this dialed in, let's say the customer says 30 days from now, Scott, come in and do your magic. I can probably detail this whole car again in less than 2 hours and get it to where it needs to be. I will always monitor protection on the car. If I see any type of bonded contaminants coming back, I'll pull them off. That is not an extra fee. I am maintaining the vehicle from that day forward, but it's much easier to maintain it when it's dialed in versus trying to resurrect the dead. I kind of hope that makes sense to you guys. I know this is a little bit of a long video, don't mean to ramble on, but this is my world, these are my customers. Look at the inside of this car. It is completely clean. A light vacuuming, I know the lighting's not that great, but I gotta touch all the surfaces inside this car. I gotta protect the leather. You guys decide what's appropriate for you. I gotta protect all the door panels. I gotta clean the door jambs. But it's a gorgeous car. What is it, a 5.2 liter V8 GT350 Shelby. Ford Performance. I love it. Guys, I'll bring you in if I find anything interesting along the way. If not, I will show you the end results and we'll go from there. I love all of you. Hope you're having a great day, whatever day you might be watching this. I hope you guys are all enjoying each other, loving one another, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Until next time, be good.